Women Up Radio, designed to facilitate women's empowerment, improve your career, develop your talents, incorporate your passions, achieve fulfillment and success.
Hello, this is Anna Letitia Cook of Women Up Radio, supporting empower women and the girls on the road in their quest to support women entrepreneurs around the world. Fernanda and Taciana are visiting 22 countries, interviewing women and researching the conditions, the business ecosystems, the challenges and the advantages that exist in each country. Today, we're visiting New Zealand, home of the hobbits. So, hi Fernanda and Taci, how are you today and how's New Zealand?
Hi, great. Yeah, great. How are you?
Very well, thanks. So, tell me, what's the general vision of business, women in business and women entrepreneurs in New Zealand?
Well, after leaving China, that we had the chance to speak last week, and arriving in New Zealand, it's, pretty much what paradise looks like. And I'll tell you why. After leaving China, 1.4 billion, remember?
Yes.
We arrived in New Zealand that it has less than 5 million people in the whole country. So that says a lot. They have more ship than people. They have 30 million ship in New Zealand, all over New Zealand. So that's amazing. That's amazing. It is a great, great, great country in terms of nature, of course. Amazing. We completely fell in love with New Zealand, both islands. And we saw a very vibrant and growing entrepreneurial business scene. We had the chance to interview incredible women doing great stuff in so many different areas, like virtual reality, crowdfunding, cybersecurity, a lot of sustainable business. It seems to be a very equal society. We had heard that before about New Zealand, but we kind of were able to see that in practice. So they have the support of the government to expand, to build business, because they need, of course, they are doing everything they can to attract people to New Zealand from other countries. So there's a lot of positive things going on right now in New Zealand.
So if you're a woman entrepreneur and is looking for, a place to grow your business, definitely consider New Zealand, because they provide like visas if you are able to develop your business from New Zealand or to New Zealand. Grants, they're like foundations, government support. So it's very, very welcoming country.
That sounds great. I didn't know that. And do they have an age restriction? Because I heard somewhere that after a certain age, it was difficult to go there. But I mean, I might be completely wrong and it might have changed.
I think maybe like if you're just going to apply for a job, going like to the regular market, maybe age is an issue. But as an entrepreneur, I don't think if you have like a great idea that can generate a lot of money, that they will care if you have like 20, 50 or 70.
Yes.
Really? Oh, so there's hope for me yet. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. You should definitely apply.
Okay, I will.
Let's move to New Zealand.
Lovely. And beautiful countryside. That's definitely my type of country. So what does it mean to be a woman entrepreneur in New Zealand?
I think it means that you have lots of opportunities, resource, support. You probably grew up in a society very equal, that you believe like since you're a child that you could do whatever you want. It's just like a matter of figure out how to do it. They offer opportunities for you not only to develop yourself in New Zealand, but also have exchange experiences abroad. It's a country that is a very diverse society. Of course, there is like lots of people from all over the world. Immigrants from England, from Europe, and other countries in Europe, from South America. I think they're very open to diversity. And many of the entrepreneurs, we were like joking ourselves, like, when are we going to interview someone who actually was born in New Zealand? Because lots of people have, being born in other countries and moved to New Zealand when they were young, or, everyone had parents who were not New Zealanders, like Kiwis, as they say.
Kiwis, yeah.
Okay. And so what are the main factors in the business ecosystem there?
Yeah, no, I was going to say that right now is certainly, I would say, all the effort and support that the government is throwing in the market really support these entrepreneurs. And as we mentioned, not only New Zealanders, people from other countries. I think this is playing a major role.
Yeah.
when it's specifically talking about women entrepreneurs, they are really investing. They have specific programs for women. Universities have also programs to attract women, to build a ecosystem of investors, for example, angels, mentors. And I think one thing that was really interesting in New Zealand, because I would believe that was the only country that we heard some sort of criticism about this women program, focus on women, women entrepreneurs. And the argument that they say is, if you want to treat, everybody as entrepreneurs, as we should, and everybody agrees with that, we shouldn't have programs solely focused on women, because in their view, it widens the gap.
Yeah.
Right? And I would say they have a point, but on the other hand, history says otherwise, because the gap's there, it's huge. And we are not talking about, handholding women along the way 100%, but at the beginning, it is important for those women who are trying to understand and to build a business and to grow a network and to assess the market, that they have a safe place, as they say, to really discuss, exchange experiences. And of course, they understand that, but they think, it should be different. And we all agree. We agree that gender should not be a part of this equation, entrepreneurship. We are all entrepreneurs. So that was an interesting part coming from women entrepreneurs in New Zealand.
Well, it's particularly interesting because that shows more than anything that they really do believe they've got equality.
Yes. Oh, and they are outspoken about it,
and they're very proud of their former prime minister.
Yes.
So they say that she was like a role model for many of them, and so I think this is also a huge part on them feeling equal.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because comparing it to some of the other countries that you've been telling us about, it's great to hear something so positive where really for them they're entrepreneurs and they're not women entrepreneurs. I think that's very, very positive. So
and Anna, there's another aspect I think it's really, really positive coming from New Zealand. And I don't think we saw that in any other country so far, that they have programs to really attract young people to experiment on becoming entrepreneurs. For example, high school students during summer, they have the option, the possibility to go to entrepreneurship boot camps. When they build teams of 4 or 5, and they come up with a product or service. They put together an enterprise, and they learn a lot.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because the youngest entrepreneur that we interviewed, she's 19 years old. She's a New Zealander.
Yeah.
And she came up with the idea of her business during one of these boot camps during high school.
Yeah.
She's doing super well. She already has investors, and it's an amazing girl. And she went to college. She decided to stop, put a break for a while to focus on her business. And she's doing amazing. And she said, you know what? I can go back to college and finish what I started, but my heart and my mind right now, they're on my business. It was an amazing story.
That's very inspiring.
Her mother is British and her father is New Zealand. So when we asked her, what your parents thought about it, because I think if I had said to my dad, and my mom, I'm going to quit college to start my company, they would, have a heart attack, I think, at my time when I was 19. Well, so, my mom is British, so she just freaked out. But my dad is from New Zealand, very relaxed, and he was really supportive of me. And he said, you can always go back and do whatever you need to do. You're only 19. Even if you do your company in 2 years in a row, you say, okay, now it's time. It's not working for me. You're going to be 22 to go to college. It's perfect, right?
Yes. Yeah. Very good point. Wonderful. So, are there any particular challenges or advantages for the women there? It sounds like they're fairly equal, so there's nothing specifically oriented.
I think for the challenges, I think, first of all, New Zealand is very isolated and a small country. So, of course, even though they have all these resources and support, they have to look outside of New Zealand. Otherwise, it's not like they're going to find lots of people wanting to invest in business. So naturally, they try to go for markets in Australia and also in Asia.
Yeah.
I think this is the two major challenges that we heard about. Like, the so far away that they are, it's very hard to get people going there and like them to get out. Yeah. And also like access to market.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about all the positive things about New Zealand, and there's a bunch of them, of course. But we also have to, bring some of the negative comments that we heard, of course, because it's not heaven. It's a very good country, of course, but it's not paradise. Yeah. And a few women talked about, even though it's a very equal society, from time to time they still have to face some sort of sexism.
Yeah.
So it's not 100% eradicated from New Zealand. Yeah. But it's so much better than so many other countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know that their work is not 100% done.
Yes.
A few things that they have to still keep working, but still a very cool place in terms of support and having good networking and supporting each other. And
one thing that struck us has nothing to do with entrepreneurship, is because like many places we would go, we would see like signs of domestic violence, which for us was very weird, surprising. And then we were asking people like, is this a big issue and it's a problem? They say yes. So I don't know about the rates or the percentage, but there's many posters about domestic violence, how to get help, and the women were saying it's a huge issue in New Zealand, which was surprising for us. Yeah.
I've heard that from somebody else who actually helps women through the court when they've got those type of issues. And this person was from the UK originally and drew a comparison saying that domestic violence is more prevalent in New Zealand than in the UK, and they don't have as many facilities for trying to deal with it. So that's a negative, but it seems that there's a lot of positives there, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Sounds good. Right. So what soft and hard skills have they in common, and what ones have they developed?
I think soft skills, I think they are confident. I think it's really inspiring, to talk to them and see that a more equal society, it is possible if we all work together.
And I think it's confident in a sense, like more tranquil, has a like very easy, like cool,
easygoing,
confident. Not as we mentioned about China, they're very aggressive and confident. It's just like they're just I'm capable. I know I'm cool. It was a different feeling.
Yeah, and I think the hard skills more business oriented. I think expanding markets for them, it's still a huge issue. Yes. And that sort, of course, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman leading a business, but for the whole country, it's still a huge challenge for them.
And I think hard skill, like related to hard skill, they are very incentivized to go abroad, like before back to New Zealand. True. And especially because, the relationship with British, they say that they really go to UK or other countries in Europe until they are like mature, like 20-something. And then they come back to New Zealand to start business, start families. So I think it's a very, open and outside looking society.
Yeah, easygoing.
Yeah, they seem to be very, they have a relaxed confidence. It's almost like a natural confidence.
Yeah, that's a good description, definitely. Yeah. Relaxed confidence, yes.
And because they're an island, right the other side of the world, we're really in the middle of the ocean, they have to look outwards because there's a limit to what they can actually do in their own country, because as you said, the difference between 1.4 billion in China and less than 5 million there, their public, their consumers, they don't have the same choice, right?
Exactly, definitely. Yes.
Okay, and so can you tell us about one key motivational difference in New Zealand, which is helpful to other women entrepreneurs around the world?
I think the key motivation, in my view, it has somehow related to diversity.
And I think being your own boss, I think like having, providing more jobs, and they cannot only rely on government or
Absolutely.
other companies.
Yeah, but what I meant in terms of diversity is, they really like interacting with people from other places, other cultures. It's a very welcoming place. And I think there's a lot of motivation in that. Everything that they can learn from others.
Yeah.
That's why they are so eagerly, trying to attract people from other countries.
Yeah.
So I think this really plays a major role for them.
Okay. And did you find that there's any particular industry that they're involved in? I mean, is there a big range of industries that they go into, or is there something different, something special?
So, you mean the women entrepreneurs that we interview, or in general?
Yeah, because I mean, like you said, a couple of countries, you said that they're very much tech, or they're, you've given examples of the type of industries that seem to be really booming for women entrepreneurs.
But it was interesting, because in New Zealand we saw a very diversified, types of industry. No, they're doing everything. As I mentioned earlier, cybersecurity, virtual reality, so a lot of tech, automotive, construction. Yeah. So there, women are everywhere. It was really cool to see what they've been doing there.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, so that's very interesting and very positive. I'm delighted to hear that they're so good, so supportive, and doing so much to try and help business in general, but particularly entrepreneurs and women.
Yes.
So next week we will be visiting you in Mexico, and we can see the difference between New Zealand and Mexico, because I'm sure it's going to be very big contrast.
Oh, lots. Yes, get ready.
Starting by the food, because Mexican food, I bet, is it's amazing. In New Zealand, we had a hard time to find, native cuisine.
Yes, that'll be good. I love